Show.
So tight, so fly. You got me lifted, you got me lifted, you got me lifted, shifted higher than the ceiling. And ooh, it's the ultimate feeling.
Howdy, I'm Mr. English. Thanks for joining us tonight on this quite special evening. Tonight we bring you two very special guests, U.S. renowned authors that have brought you novels like The Great Gatsby and The Old Man and the Sea. F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway, ladies and gentlemen. Take a seat, take a seat. All right. Thanks for showing up tonight. So you guys are one of the most successful authors right now.
Yeah, I like to think so.
So describe each of your childhoods. Let's start with you, Fitzgerald.
Well, you see, I was born near the turn of the century in St. Paul, Minnesota, eh? Well, my father was a failure. My mother, however, was keen on sending me to prep school, so she borrowed money from her relatives. Eventually, I got accepted to Princeton, New Jersey, where I was a so-called idol to my classmates for all the stories I wrote while in school. Afterwards, I met this amazing young girl, 16 years of age, but unfortunately the maiden broke off with me, because poor boys can't marry rich girls.
I'll stop you right there, Scott. We had enough of your childhood. Now, similar to my friend here, I too was born near the turn of the century in Oak Park, Illinois, a very quiet little town. My father was a physician, and my mother was a stay-at-home mom. I very much enjoyed accompanying my father on his hunting and fishing trips. I always enjoyed those physical challenges, like football and boxing in high school.
Oi! Fitzgerald, is that alcohol?
No, it's water.
Let's talk about your alcoholism, Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I drink.
Alright, moving on. So what led you to become an author?
Ever since I was a child, I've had a passion for writing. After World War I, I decided to continue a piece of work I started in Princeton. As you all may know, it's called This Side of Paradise.
Well, what about you, Hemingway?
Well, I turned to writing novels after my time as a reporter and living in Paris, being inspired by all of its fine arts. I then began to write sketches.
So I heard you two are close friends. How'd you meet?
Well, you see, when I was in Paris, I was going to a bar to stimulate my mind, for creativity. And that is when I met this man named Hemingway. We began drinking, and before I knew it, we began a great friendship. And later I found out that he was also an author.
Well, for me, I was at the bar getting some drinks in when this drunken man walks up to me and we begin drinking. So we began to talk about writing, and as it turned out, we both had a passion for the endeavor.
Very nice. It's rare for two authors who have already met coming on my show. Well, ladies and gents, hold on to your pants and pantyhose. We'll be right back after this short break.
Are you tired of being fat? We'll wait no longer.
New antiseptic Listerine mouthwash can be proven to reduce plaque in the mouth and build that also sought after muscle mass. Get lean by getting mean and buying some Listerine today.
Get it today. Just call 1-800-LISTERINE.
Well, and we're back. Now that you've learned a little bit about these two amazing authors, we will now get into our main segment, Fitzgerald and Hemingway's novels. The recently released Great Gatsby and The Old Man and the Sea.
I just published this new novel called The Great Gatsby. It actually resembles my own life and how I never got my golden girl. The character Jay Gatsby shows my desperation to get that golden girl. Thus, he throws lavish parties to try and lure Daisy to him.
Well, enough of that. My novella, Old Man in the Sea, is about an old fisherman named Santiago who loves a challenge, just like me.
Okay. Well, although your old man might seem brave, my novel has a much more interesting storyline that contains drama and is a unique tragedy. Gatsby chases an impossible dream and dies because of it. My narrator, Nick, really helped set an image for the novel. Even Nick was a part of that image, which were lies and dreams of the unattainable.
Alright, my story, meanwhile, begins with the old fisherman, Santiago, arriving home on the 84th day without a catch. He is greeted by a young boy who he used to fish with. The next day, he goes out to sea again, looking for a catch or anything. He finally hooks onto a marlin. It pulls him very far out to sea. After 3 whole days, he finally catches it and kills it. While traveling back to mainland, a group of sharks attack him and eat the whole marlin. He comes back home, a failure, with no fish. However, his young apprentice then decides to return to fishing with the old man. My theme, meanwhile, is the honor of struggle and defeat and death. From the outset, Santiago is shown as struggling with defeat. He continues to struggle after coming back from his fishing trip, still without a catch. I used words that are simple and easy to relate to. Thus, this makes it sound more of a true story rather than a fairy tale. I also chose to have little dialogue, as the man mainly thinks to himself. That's it. That's my story.
Great, very interesting. But sadly, we're out of time. Thanks for joining us tonight. Join us next week with the well-known author John Steinbeck. I'm Mr. English, signing off.
When the money comes off top, I can't lie. I love to get blow. With my little sugar, I'm your little chulo. And every time we kick it, it's all to the groovy. Treat you like my sticky icky or my sweet ooey gooey.